Here's to you, dear listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Metal Gear Monday's Revengeance, where you find your favorite conversations around Kojima-related content and Metal Gear delivered to you through tactical podcast action. We are obviously in our Portable Ops edition, and we found him off the coast of a nuclear silo. We drug him after we tranked him, threw him in the truck, and now he seems to be drinking the MGMR Season 2 Kool-Aid back from his assignment. Chris Hampton, what's up, man?
Yo, how's it going? I'm back from the big shell incident.
Huh?
The big shell.
Yeah.
What? The big shell?
Yeah.
I cannot remember what he says. Why can't I think of what Raiden says in that moment? The Shadow Moses incident? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
Something stupid like that? We're like, we get it, bro.
Basically, just repeat it back with a question mark at the end.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, proper Metal Gear protagonist.
That's
concept.
good dialogue, baby.
Yes. And of course, you know what? I think it's a compliment when I say this, but basically our right-hand soldier, our Jonathan.
Oh, yeah, that's
Tori Cortez.
That is such a compliment. Oh, my boy Jonathan. Listen, I thought I had something clever to say leading up to this.
I threw you off with the Jonathan like he always does.
Yeah, no, I'm very flattered. That's nice. Glad to have my my big boss back though, because I'm not gonna lie, we were all in a bit of disarray without you, and the mess hall just there were food fights left and right. The medical team was just laying down on the job. I mean, we really needed you back.
It's a real mess.
What? I'm the big boss of this outfit? What? Oh, God.
Well, that's the way Warren set it up, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going
if
for.
If that's true, we're in worse trouble than we realize.
I'm the Roy Campbell in this situation because I won't shut the fuck up. Am I right?
I'm the monkey from Metal Gear Solid 4 with the Narc Cola.
Hell yeah. Hell
and
yeah.
cigarettes. That's me. That's my whole vibe.
Now,
I can't wait till we get the MGS4.
I told you guys privately off the mic, but for you listeners out there, when I was a young preteen and a nerdling of Metal Gear Solid, I frequented a forum that was not about Metal Gear Solid, I might add. It was about some other shit, some anime and some other games, I guess, in general. But I frequented this forum under the usernames first Emma Emmerich and avatars as well, and then the boss. And the boss I felt great about. Obviously, that was the right choice. But MGS2, the more I look back on it, why didn't I opt to be queen? Why didn't I go for Fortune?
I don't want to judge you, but yeah, I don't get it. Because she not only, okay, so Fortune is just fucking fantastic. But even she's got a badass like theme about her. Her whole like lethal outlook on life, like she just don't give a fuck.
Fuck yeah, man.
Is like the best thing. It's like really great. Like it makes for such a good character.
Right? I guess Fortune is Fortune was wife goals, not life goals, I suppose. Because
nothing wrong with that.
I secretly wish to be a Fortune, but let's face it, guys, I'm probably more of an Emma Emmerich at heart.
EE? I love it.
EE.
She signed it EE. We get it, Otacon. You have a sister we never knew about. Retconning, baby.
I always thought that was an E.E. Cummings reference.
You could be right. Yeah.
I don't know.
We could make it canon right now. Like we could, we could make it real.
Hold on.
Just be like, oh
I'm
my God,
editing the Metal
EE
Gear Solid 2 Wikipedia page right now.
Warren, did you make those typing noises intentionally?
Of course I did.
Okay.
I was editing the wiki.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay,
folly,
great. Well,
baby.
I'm editing those clicks out. How you like me
Why?
now?
It was for the joke. It was for the joke.
Yeah, I'm just
for my
messing with you.
terrible third-rate C+ jokes that I drop for everyone to hear.
I
every
wouldn't
other
say
week.
that.
I get sad and just sort of accept very quickly when someone's like, I don't agree. And I'm like, you know what? I also don't agree.
Oh, no.
You're absolutely right.
Aw.
It's just because my job is telling people what to do. So I don't like my personal life feeling the same way.
Oh, well, that's
I think
nice.
that'd be too much. It'd be too much of a complex. I think my head's big enough as it is.
Well, I wasn't going to say
problem,
anything.
Too. Hats are really hard to find when you have a big head.
Yeah. Got a little Dutch in me. You know what I mean? Just a big old noggin up there.
Dutch? Is that
I got thick hair.
a Dutch
Gotta-
thing? Dutch?
I have no idea. I'm just dropping. So I want someone to look it up and be like, actually, Dutch tend to have average to medium-sized heads.
Look, the only Dutch that I know is Red Dead Redemption 2, and if that's the case, then we need a little bit more money.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. Dutch is also from Predator.
Ah,
So that's Arnold Schwarzenegger's character.
I
He's
got a
pretty big head,
plan.
so.
We just need a little
Jesus.
more money.
Isn't it always? We just need a little bit more
I
money.
just need some time.
Yeah, actually,
Poor Dutch man.
Chris, that's a great segue into our next bit, where we subliminally make you guys, the listeners, think it's a good idea to give us money.
Yeah.
Done.
Shill. Go for it. Patreon's the best, y'all. And the patrons are like literally the fucking best. Like I talk to them more than most people now
Yeah.
Yeah.
at this point.
For real.
And they're certainly fun to talk to. So I will give it that. And we're streaming movies. We're streaming games. Apparently today was getting done, potentially later tonight from our conversations. So we're just trying to find a bunch of different ways to make it fun for patrons. And sort of worth your while rather than just being, your everyday listener. So one of those perks is that we give you a random shout out.
Oh, yeah.
And now I believe Tori, I saw her, she took like 10 minutes. It was crazy. She has this whole apparatus in the background there to select the patron. It's bananas. It actually is going to take about 4 minutes to get the selection, how long it takes to run.
It's one of those bingo ball, like roller
just the bingo
things.
ball rollers?
Yeah. So
So all right, everybody, MGM, get your bingo cards out.
yep.
Get them ready.
Does
We're going to do our random patron shout
Does
out.
everybody have markers? Y'all have markers? Anybody need markers out there?
I have my stamper. I'm ready.
Okay, great. This week's patron that we appreciate. I just realized last week I said this week's patron of the week, and I'm trying not to fall into that trap again. Look at y'all. Yeah,
Sure. Well, it is.
you guys actually.
We're ready to stamp.
Yeah, you have your markers. This is incredible. I hope everybody at home is too. This week's patient. Okay, guys, take three. Here we go. This week's patron that we'd like to appreciate is none other than Dragonhide.
Bam, 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 bam. He wasn't on my card. Damn it.
Oh,
Bingo.
I have like
Bingo,
yeah,
baby.
I had 4 Dragonhides and a free space.
And the bonus. Yeah, and the free
Yeah,
space.
yeah.
Dragonhide, you are the man. He was the guy that did our trivia stuff. So I want to make sure he gets the credit.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Not only that, but pretty vocal and chill guy to hang out with in the Discord. Today, he and a couple other patrons just kicked it with me while I streamed Crash Bandicoot, the OG Crash Bandicoot.
Nice.
So, yeah, there are a few regulars that jump into pretty much any stream that's happening in there, and Dragonhide is one of them. So we appreciate you hanging out. We appreciate you chatting with us. We appreciate you supporting us financially, most importantly.
Yeah, no kidding.
So yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, right.
All right.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, and how long?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dragonhide has been with us for a whole year now, which it feels like he's...
Patreon birthday.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
It feels like you've been with us forever, Dragonhide, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. I honestly was sort of shocked. I was like, wow, only a year? But he's made an impact, so it doesn't matter. It's quality, not quantity.
That's
We
right.
appreciate you, Dragonhide. You're the man. All right. Well, Chris, is there anything you want to sort of chat up before we roll in here? Because this is going to be a boss-heavy ep. So there's not going to be much. There's going to be something to talk about, obviously. But, again, we had some chats about pacing in the last episode. So Chris, would you want to catch us up since you were off the last episode? Anything else you want to bring up?
Well, yeah, I guess I could talk about the ancestor of the former Patriots kicker Rob Gronkowski, Skowronski.
I think. Sorry, Chris. I think you mean Kyle Bravlovsky.
Skowronski, Swarwinski.
Colonel Skowronski.
This week in Chris Butcher's Russian. Yeah, that Colonel dude, he's pretty badass.
Right?
Yeah.
It's true.
He's like some haggard old man. I really aspire to be that one day.
Oh, you already are, Chris.
Oh, thanks, guys.
You're well on your way, sir. Outside of the Russian pronunciations, you're well on your way.
Just give me another gin and tonic and I'll get there.
There we go. Getting you real smoky by the end of the shift here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of felt for this guy a little, his plight, the whole situation where he's been displaced and he feels like stabbed in the back and betrayed by his men, betrayed by his country, and he's just sort of a lost soldier on the battlefield. That really vibes with a lot of the messaging that Big Boss will later use as like his rallying flag, you know? Mm-hmm. So, and my little headcanon is like, Big Boss like has a memory of this guy, and he's like, you know, this is the soldier that I'm kind of fighting for.
Sure.
I think so too. Yeah. I really do. I think for such a small piece, I do think he makes more of an impact than one would think.
Yeah, and this game is so like this is just another illustration of how well written the characters in this game are. Mm-hmm. Like,
right?
They're each one is memorable, including the big boss we're going to talk about today. Right?
The big
boss.
So
we have. Oh. Yeah, I'd say one is pretty big deal, and then the other one is a pretty great boss for this game.
Right.
And we'll get there, which I'm looking forward to. And I liked it. So when we get to it, so I guess this will be our segue corner with Warren.
It's your segue with Warren. Yeah. Cue it here.
We talked a lot about last ep the pacing. We had like some good moments that were like, wow, this felt like a great sort of evolution of gameplay. I think it was the town we were really excited about. Like this really opened up the game. But as far as the story, it felt like a lot of go get this, bring this here. Then we had the explosives, which was great. But again, at this point, we were like, man, we are multiple episodes into talking, and we still haven't had a boss fight, which feels really odd because they're building up multiple people that you would have thought we would have fought one of them by now. And I guess when we get to the end of this episode, we'll figure out if we liked it. But to have two boss fights essentially back to back, and I won't spoil the game, but this may happen more than once. Just how they did it. I haven't decided yet if I like the pacing of it, but I think after this episode, the pacing feels great when we get to it. So let's just say previously. On Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my God, that's literally never
Portable
happened.
Ops. I know. Previously, well, because I tried to like stinger it with like, oh, we don't know who this ghost character is, and he has started to catch us up on Metal Gear Raja, which we don't know it's Raja yet, but we know that there is a prototype Metal Gear, and that it is basically going to use nuclear warheads. We don't know much else about it at that point, but it's just a shell at the moment. It it's not armed with the nuclear warheads yet. So we grab our intel, and we find out the intel will lead us to the security base. And that's how we're going to get the location of the nuclear warheads. Now, as far as the security base itself, like I said, getting a little samey. We definitely talked about that a ton as far as like the color design and things like that. But I did like there was a lot of really long hallways. So it was kind of the first one to really have that. And when you find your way in the back, I did think there was a good amount of guards. Like, it felt like it was sort of upping the difficulty even further than when we talked about the town and these other previous places. But basically, we find our little red square, and it gets us to the comms area. We find a secret dock, and we find out about where the warheads are, which will eventually lead us to nuclear storage. Now, as far as this area, like I said, I know it's not necessarily something you got to write home about. Do we have any thoughts on this little particular area of gameplay?
I'm not going to lie. Speaking of all the samey vibes, I can't really remember this to stand out against a lot of the other maps that we've been through. Can you remind me sort of what it looks like?
I would love to do that if I also could remember super well. So what I do know about it is, so like again, like I said, I will perfectly say when something does stand out, and I'll get to another area. So the security base, it basically was you walk down and you had the ability to go through like a left or right with very long corridors, and you could see above you and like see that they had like guards in there. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty obvious the way that it's designed. They want you to just walk through the long hallway, get all the way to the back, and that's how you get in without being seen. Like it felt like it was almost done on purpose. Like, you also can sneak, like to remind you, I guess. Like, I don't know if it was a game design thing, but again, it felt like a lot of the other maps. It didn't feel special in regards for being newly introduced. Let's put it that way. So, which is unfortunate, but it's still crucial to the story because now we know we have to make our way to nuclear storage because we know where it is now. So we make our way, drive our little truck. This one I thought was pretty cool because you have, like, this is a map we actually sort of hit a lot. Like, as we later in the game, we'll kind of be in this opening area for a little bit. But this one, you have to keep going down. Like, there's like long ramps that take you down, and you have to eventually get from like layer to layer, level to level. And I made a note, it kind of reminded me of the lab in the Resident Evil games, and specifically Resident Evil 2 and 3. I think it's called the Hive. I don't know if that's just the movie universe. But when you think about them at the end of the games, it looked a lot like that, just not stark white. It had like that great gray, brown, green color what we see so often in this particular game. Mm-hmm. We make our way to the storage room, which I do think has a pretty cool looking like security alarm system. It's basically to ensure that we use our infrared goggles so you can see when they're up, where they're up, while still being able to sort of hide from the guards. I thought I was being clever. I found like a ladder in the back and climbed up and thought I was going to get a better vantage. And then as I started to clear the room, I realized that's the only place to go. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that kind of bumped me out a little bit. I was like, so this is just a linear room. But we clear the room. Can't find any nukes. Still nothing there, but we can go further down. And as we keep going down, we find sort of, I guess it looks like a power station or a comm station, something that has a lot going on with a breaker. And Roy basically says, like, we can just blow this shit up, and that'll probably knock half the power out to this whole, base or this facility, and it might slow it down so we can intercept where the warheads are, or at least find out where they are, because they probably have like a backup, so we'll know exactly where they are. We blow up. We press our little button. It goes to that dope cutscene, like the dope artwork, and he's pulling a Joker. He's pressing the button. Nothing's working. Click, 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 click. And we meet officially face-to-face. We meet Python. Before we do a quick Python chat.
Yep.
Is this how'd you guys feel about the design of this particular nuclear storage place?
I mean, it was fresh compared to everything that came before it, so I suppose I appreciated it for that.
Sure.
Again, there was nothing really that stood out about it for me. I can remember this one better than the security base, but it was corridors and ramps and yeah.
Yep. The architecture is very limited, so it's just generally not worth noting throughout the game.
Right.
I think.
Unfortunately.
Lots of tan, beige, gray, green, military camo scheme in a dry, arid landscape.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the palette of San Geronimo.
Yeah.
When I go to Home Depot to like set it up, I actually ask for the San Geronimo like palette.
Where's the
to really just make it real hearthy.
San Geronimo is like next to the like concrete, but behind like
It's all only primer colors.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So we meet Python face to face, I say, because we personally have all met Python prior. I got to say, this guy is pretty fucking cool. So we learn in this cutscene that they have a past. So he knows Python, like by name, calls him Python. They know each other from previous battle, and what makes him so special, in a sense, is he had something happen to him in battle to the point where he can't regulate his body temperature. It will consistently and constantly rise, and he cannot control it. He cannot cool himself down through his own biological means. So he wears a liquid nitrogen sort of suit that helps regulate his body temperature, which is why when we talked about it with Skowronski, why he could grab the gun and freeze it and things like that. So he has that, and he can weaponize it as well, which is pretty fucking cool, if I'm being honest. That's it's a new twist on a boss we haven't had in a Metal Gear game before. It felt fresh, and I did like that he was a soldier that boss knew, and I did love his whole, I did wet works for the CIA consistently so that I would make sure I was a top assassin for when I finally fucking met you again.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, that shit felt cool. Like, I was like, okay, like, this is pretty fucking dope.
Sends a little shiver down your spine.
Play on words. Let's talk about this fight.
Wait, but one more thing.
Go ahead. One more.
I have another dumb joke. Are you guys ready? No, I'm just kidding. But did anybody else, honestly though, keep expecting to hear some sort of Mr. Freeze quip come out of this guy?
yes,
Batman's Mr. Freeze.
yes.
So I didn't, but I was surprised. So by him being called Python was weird to me. Why the Snake name? I don't know anybody else that has a Snake name other than Snake. When it came to CIA, like, why Python? And I could see maybe it's like, oh, well, they called him that after the fact, like after they wanted to get Big Boss back, because he does kind of say, I want to find you. But he knew him as Python prior. Like, he's been calling him Python for a long time. Unfortunately, no, I don't think anybody's going to hit the level of freeze puns as Arnold did back in the day.
Wouldn't say nobody.
True.
I might throw a couple in before the end of this episode. You never know.
Jesus, who knows? What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. There is a supercut out there, y'all, if you want to look it up. Just do freeze pun supercut. It'll be there. It's terribly amazing. Let's put it that way. Some of them are actually terrible puns. Some are not even puns. So just be ready for that if you're going to choose that. There's some MGMR homework for you guys. So let's talk about this fight. So before this fight starts, he sort of, I guess, empties the suit in a sense. So he starts to cool off the room, and he like loads it up. He's like the best fucking Halloween spirit store you've ever had. It's all fucking foggy in there, like perfectly fogged. Does make for a pretty dope backdrop as far as an arena. And I do like that you're visiting places you were previously as you were traveling down to fight him. So I thought that, as far as a boss design, was pretty dope. How was your strategies? Because I feel like mine was a tad different.
I mean, I think Tori and I did the same thing, right? Like,
Right.
Shotgun Willie. That's, I will say, through my playthrough of this game, the boss fights aren't particularly difficult.
Sure.
Even on the higher difficulties, they're all kind of the same. They move the same. They hit the same, react the same way, which is fine. I think given that it's smaller and I'm playing it in the mindset of a smaller screen, but not necessarily like I'm playing in 4K on a big TV, but that's not how this game was made to be played. So I get that it's like a weird experience. So yeah, the Python fight, I just use that M870. That's it. You hit him like with that, and like you can keep him knocked down. He won't be able to get up.
Yeah, that's the big thing that I was surprised with, but you can actually like knock the bosses over.
Yeah.
Like they're just dudes.
Yeah.
Like they're just another guy. You know, they might have special powers in a sense, but they're just regular ass dudes. So if you hit them with a shotgun, even with armor, they're going to drop. And I was like, fuck, you can kind of stun lock this guy, can't you?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong.
It appears to be the sense.
But if you just do non-lethal takedowns, you can recruit them, right?
Which I did do not for everyone, but I did do for
Python
because I was able to. I got Python by the end. He's good. You know, I don't know if it's like, oh my god, dude, this is how you break the game. But he was a little easier because I the first time I played it, I didn't really. It was just story, so I can get the notes together, right? So I was kind of like using the ramp like up and down. So I would like, as I would be about to turn the corner, I could use the game's camera to like see him on his way up, and I would just like, hello, shoot him with a shotgun, watch him fall, rinse and repeat, and I could just like kind of clip that. But on second time, I was like, let me just try. And trust me, I didn't win on all of these, but in that main room, you can sort of like stay by those pillars and just wait for him to, you can get close, he'll like swing at you, and you could just like step away, and he has like a second. So if you're good at like just pulling the gun up and firing with the Mark 22, you're pretty good. Like you could cheese him pretty comfortably with that too. It just takes longer. And I'll throw another fun thing in there when we can. But Tori, how about you? Anything special outside of being Chuck and Willie?
I don't know. I do have one thing to say to start out with. No matter what anyone tells you, Bane, it really is the size of your gun that counts.
Wow.
That almost went into what's his name? The guy who's in Mandalorian with the voice.
You're talking about Werner Herzog?
Werner Herzog, thank you, God.
Yes.
It went a little Werner Herzog
libation?
for a second. But
Celebrate.
But
that's so good. I love Werner Herzog.
I just thought that was an appropriate quote to lead in because...
It's not bad.
Because, I used primarily the shotgun, and I think once I ran out of ammo for the shotgun, I just finished him off with an AK. Other than that, I just thought the arena was stunning. I loved the liquid nitrogen fog all over the warehouse. Visually pleasing and obviously advantageous for us. And Warren, I kind of shared your strategy for the first time and just kind of ran him around the warehouse. And I would wait for him. I'd run far ahead, wait for him to get to a point, and just as he's coming through the door, get him and run away and start over.
Oh, yeah. Did anybody have an issue where he froze your equipment?
Yeah.
Like once or twice.
Too close to him or anything?
Yeah.
He got you?
He got me a few times with that spray. That.
And did you know how to thaw yourself out?
No.
Apparently, because I found it like after the fact because like I said, first time playing, I kind of went through a guide just so I could make sure I had enough in front of me. But there is a room with the pillars, the one I was talking about, where you can sort of hide behind those pillars. You can hug a wall. You can hug those pillars, and they are like the power source, so they generate heat, and you can melt your gear. So you can still use it during the fight, and it's how you can sort of like keep the fight going if you wanted to. Another fun thing, did you guys know, and I don't know if this is like common knowledge, but I was a little surprised, like you can fight him with not Snake even after the cutscene.
Yeah.
Like you could. I love that I chose to fight him as Jonathan, like, just for a little
Well,
bit,
I'll tell you why I knew. I had to, on almost every boss battle, I had to pretty much exhaust my alpha team.
Oh, damn,
as frustrating as that is. But yeah, so I knew that from the start of boss battles that you could you could play as your supporting team members.
Nothing wrong with that. It worked though.
Yeah.
So we beat Python. Pretty good first boss fight though. I thought he definitely felt less cheese than like the Pain, like we've talked about, or some of the other first bosses, your Ocelots, your Olga. So I appreciated that. And I did sort of like his little send-off, because he basically is like, yeah, you beat me, so I serve no purpose. This was what I wanted. I just want to get the fuck out of here. If I can't kill you, then I'm done. Like, my mission is over. And he sort of just like pulls the cord, like pulls out the liquid nitrogen, so he's just eventually just going to die from heat and, implode, I guess, explode in his own body. Pretty cool banter, though, between them. It's a little cheesy, a little schmaltzy, but I did like the whole, Snake sort of... I like that they had a past, and it wasn't like... It was just another guy doing wet works that would naturally be there, because he literally was like, yeah, I signed up with the CIA, so clearly they're going to throw him, with Fox. Fox is the dirty group. That's what they do. So it kind of makes sense that he was there regardless and had a history with Snake. So... but pretty cool. I was a little bummed that he was just sort of like there and gone, technically. Even if you obviously, Mark 22 him, you still get the same cutscene, but you just keep him. So
yeah. I thought,
but
anytime. Sorry to interrupt, Warren.
No, you're fine.
Anytime that a character or a foe, I suppose, of Snake's is primarily motivated by either besting him in battle or, proving that was never possible. Either they're going to defeat Snake or they're going to die. I don't know why, but that is an extremely pleasing character background for me. And I know it might be played in this series a little bit, but I just, in terms of quote unquote villainy, I always appreciate those antagonists that they're not really fighting for somebody else's orders. They're there because they really want to have it out with Snake. They just want to duel him.
Yeah, it's not bad. And it builds the history that we don't get to know.
Yeah, well, I think you're right, Tori. They're like true soldiers, and that's like their calling is the battlefield.
And that's what it's all about with Snake.
Usually the big bad of the game.
Right.
And we'll eventually get to the big bad of this game.
Yeah.
Eventually. So we beat Python. And, of course, since none of that worked, I guess it would be fun to say, the reason why we couldn't ignite what we wanted, he basically flash froze the bomb, and he just, throws it on the ground like it's a paperweight. Now he's like, this is useless. But we learned that the warheads are clearly not at the warehouse. We basically, turn it inside out. And we're just assuming they're headed towards wherever the Metal Gear is now then. We don't really have any other leads. Which then leads us to, again, we get intel, our common grabbing intel missions. And if we go to the security base, it brings us to the airport. We're looking for a high-ranking official that should know something about Metal Gear. So this is sort of the first time that, again, we have talked about where the game sort of asks you got to do something specific. So now you have to actually hold up and interrogate someone to grab information. You can't just pick it up off a table or whatever. Pretty smart. It's a new sort of gameplay loop you could add to your arsenal if you weren't doing it already. As far as the map itself, I like the airport in a sense. It's very big. A lot of cargo containers, lots of guards. And I think it's pretty interesting. I got really excited when I was playing this map because there was I think there was 10 doors, it looked like, just so many different places you could peek into and climb around and crawl behind. But then as soon as you open one of the doors, you learn that it's just a giant hangar. So every door takes you to the same giant room.
Oh, that's
just
right.
in a different place.
I remember this place.
It was fine, but you could basically wait till the guard sort of walked by door 3 and then go open door 3 and get behind him instead of running through the door in front of him. So it was fine, but I really got excited when I was here, like, oh shit, because there's a lot of cool stuff. Like you can you can hide behind the containers, you can crawl behind stuff, under stuff, and there's like some staircases. So there's a lot of places to sort of grab like intel and, you know, look at the map from pretty high vantage to see what's going on. But as far as like getting there, it's literally just walk to a door, open the door, continue through the giant hangar, walk through another door, and you're there. So it ended up bumming me out a little bit, if I'm being honest. But you make way towards the back of the building, and you learn that there is a stairwell to the comms room. And you find a guy wearing a suit who looks clearly nothing like anybody else. He's literally in a suit. And you need to, you know, basically hold him up, interrogate him, and then it kind of takes you to, like, not a cutscene, but it takes you to, like, dialogue. And he sort of lets us know where the weapons silo is, and it's east of the ravine. And what's really funny, before I finish, but we can just walk on out of there, and we head on over to the silo. As far as the airport, even a line or anything, anybody feel the same way as me? Because I got pretty excited and then let down pretty quickly when it came to this map.
Before I get to that, can I pose another question because of something that you just mentioned?
Sure.
Were there any times that you guys, especially at the beginning, I suppose, obtained your mission objective, and when Roy was like, okay, get back to the truck, you were prepared to like finish out that mission by getting back to the truck, and then it was, oh, nope, that's okay, we're done. All right, we're done. Was that jarring for either of you at first, or were you just like, cool?
Yeah, I'm constantly surprised at the jarring moments of this game, just in like how short and bite-sized everything is. It seems to do this quite often.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
I myself, I think there were one or two situations where I was doing poorly before obtaining that goal, or before achieving that oh my god. I'm totally going to edit this out. There were a few times where I was really in a hot mess just before achieving the goal of the mission, and I went, whew, okay, back to the truck it is, all right. But other times I thought it could have lent a little bit of, I don't know, just a little bit more of a challenge if you could go and achieve your goal and also get back to the truck without, you know, either without being spotted or without causing too much more chaos.
I totally agree. I was a little surprised by it, but sometimes, especially on the second playthrough, it was kind of welcomed. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get through this shit. Let's get moving.
Well, as far as your original question, I don't think I really had the inclination to feel disappointed by any of this because I started out so frustrated. Oh. So at that point, I was really just like, okay, whatever I have to do to get this game done, whatever.
Sure.
For those of you who may have forgotten or haven't heard yet, I had to start this game a total of 4 times, I think. I lost... Oh, maybe it was 3. Whichever the case, I lost multiple save files due to reasons that I'm not going to get into right now. But yeah, by the time I got here, I guess I was just relieved that I didn't have to start the game over again. So at that point, nothing was that frustrating.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. This one, I was just, again, like, the town really made me happy that I was like, oh, shit, an airport. That's pretty fucking big. Like, that's going to be a really dope map. Yeah, kind of let me down in the end. But we are told we can go to the silo. So the silo, I think, did an actually pretty good job here. I think the big thing with the silo for me was that this was, like, the difficulty jump as far as maps for me. So pretty big area, considering I like the vantage points because there's a lot of verticality with guards staying low, guards going up like sort of steps, guards in rooms, staircases that you can see them walking around. Like you can look pretty far back and they sort of find you. I don't know if it's necessarily difficult AI, but their vision was certainly, at least it felt like they had like a sort of an upgrade. Like if you're playing on medium, now it's hard mode as far as what they notice. And I don't know if that was a design thing or just could be me just like thinking I can burn through this because the other maps weren't really that difficult. But this was the first time I was like, fuck, like I basically can't run anywhere. Like I have to fucking take my time. I have to be sneaky. This was like my first like real like fuck moment. I was like, shit, they caught me. Where the fuck do I go? But I like the silo. This was like, it was pretty welcome. I was like, okay, cool. Like I see, maybe that's why, you know, you can't have, you know, every map can be fucking incredible. You have to, you know, some of them are just to like learn a thing. So,
You know,
but I like this one a lot.
I gotta say, I was hesitant to admit this at the time, but that was the airport for me.
Oh, okay. The difficulty curve really spiked for you at the airport?
Yeah, well, if this is the one I'm thinking of, I think it was just a lot more open, and I rely on a lot of obstacles to sneak around, and this one left me with fewer choices. So I had to get a little creative about, or more, maybe more observant. Good God. Observant. Thank you. God, you guys. Okay. It's a good thing I edit the show.
Please keep that one in. Just keep that one in for me, though.
Yeah, I suppose I was just feeling the challenge of having to be more observant of the guards' patterns or whatever the case was. Maybe I was just fucking tired of playing this game at that point, but it was getting through the airport was and beyond became a little more challenging for me, I would say.
Sure. What about you, Chris? You agree with us on this?
Yeah, I do. I mean, God, I'm looking at screens right now, and it's just, yeah. There's so much of this area that's just a big blur because it does look the same. And I mean, I feel like we're ragging on it, but unintentionally. So, you know.
Well, I mean, this has to be like, if we're going to pick on something, it makes it tough to sort of attack it academically. Like we do our homework, we talk about it. And like I said, my notes are nothing like my notes for last season because I basically had to do a walkthrough for myself because it's really hard for me to remember. And I almost thought about doing screenshots in the notes just to give me a heads up, and I might do that for Peace Walker.
Oh, that would have been a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, I think I might start, because they're not difficult to do. I just grab them as I'm making the notes, but it is tough. Yeah, like if I'm watching a walkthrough right now, you could drop it at any time, and I'd be like, I have no idea where we are. I couldn't begin to tell you unless I see a truck or, you know, like a big silo thing or the big building, the town I could recognize. Like there's a few that I'd be like, oh, that's that map.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you where, like when in the game you're there. Based on it, because there's just the art design was limited, and we did rag on it like the first episode, and we did talk about a decent amount in the you know this succeeding episode because it's tough. Like we were trying to like remember where we were in the game because it's kind of tough to notice if I'm being honest.
Do you guys think that's an issue of us like really crushing through it in a short amount of time, or do you think that's something that people also grapple with on the PSP because maybe it's easy to put down for a long time and forget what you've done or what you've seen?
See, I thought about this, Tori, and my thought is if because it all looks kind of samey, I feel like if I was playing this on the handheld and was just picking up and putting it down, whenever I would pick it up again, I would have a hard time remembering where I was based on like what I was looking at in the game. Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it would make it a little more difficult, but I don't know. I'd be interested to hear the argument for the other side.
Maybe we'll ask Ryan about that.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you think Ryan's probably going to listen to all of these episodes? Hey Ryan, I just want to let you know, truly, despite all of the complaints we've given, truly this was an enjoyable experience, and it's no one's fault but mine that I had to replay this game intro like 4 different times.
Well, I think that's part of why I'm excited for as we get, you know, through this next bit and through future episodes, is because the stuff that's good about this game is great. And that's what makes it like rewarding to actually attack this academically rather than just pick it up and review it. Like review scores are fine and all, but I do like a good chunk of this, and it just like again, I kind of agree with Chris because you know you don't want it to be samey, just because you're picking it up, putting it down, there is a separate mission no matter what map you're on. So there should be something there, but also how would you make the town vibrant? You don't want people to know you're there. Like you can't have like a blue building. Like that's not tactical.
Now,
so as far as story constraints, keep it proper. Okay, Chris.
Well, I will say, in defense of the graphics, I remember also playing SOCOM on the PSP. I borrowed the PSP from my friend to play this game. He gave me the SOCOM game, and I like those SOCOM games quite a bit on the PS2. And the game on the PSP was just garbage, like hot garbage. And if you think samey of Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, oh my god, it's the same wooden shack and stick tree in the middle of like what looks like Gerudo Valley, but low res.
Oh man.
So
yeah.
Yeah. That I will say, having seen the PSP hardware do other things, this is like pretty impressive.
Sure.
For like a 3D environment.
We have to,
but that's sad.
Yeah, we have to put on PSP glasses. Yeah, we have to put on PSP glasses for this. Like that's like when we get to the NES games and we're gonna complain about like, well, yeah, the environments are real. They don't really jump off the page. It's like it's 8-bit, asshole. What are you talking about?
But also, there was a thread on Twitter. This may be a little off topic, but watch me circle back, guys. So
here we go.
I was reading this thread that I follow of like, Jeremy Parrish, Retronauts, and there's a Twitter account called CRT Bot, and they talk about CRT monitors and things like that. And it was a thread about how visual, like graphic designers of games would design with the limitations of CRT televisions in mind. And they showed like screenshots of like, here is this pixelated image from a game on a CRT, and here it is in like a pixel perfect digital emulation setting. And the emulation setting looks like crap, but the CRT is like dark and moody and like, if I can find that thread again, I'll post it in the Discord or something so you guys can check it out. But so that brings me to the PSP. The PSP had like this little monitor that was different than like most LCD screens at the time, if I remember, because the way I'm playing it, there's an emulated way you can get your screen to look that way.
Sure.
And if you turn that on, I've noticed a big quality difference in the environments. So I don't know if like how you're playing the game affects how you see it too.
Sure. I mean, like I said, I feel like I do. It just sucks from an academic, like I said, coming at it third party, like trying to be as objective as possible. It's just the environments are samey. Yeah. Straight up. You know what I mean?
There's not a lot you can do about it.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you wanted to. I mean, again, the game's made. The past is the past.
I suppose that also adds another challenge in the gameplay as well, though, because you might get comfortable thinking that you know the layout here because they are samey enough in their visuals, but they do kind of vary in their structure. So while you do have the same color scheme for every single one of them, there is some variety added to each map, I think, that threw me for a loop. For example, in the insides of some of the buildings, especially the buildings where scientists reside, and the fact that you can't control the camera angle means that you could, for example, run into and alert like 3 different scientists who call the alarm, and then you're fucked. I'm not speaking from personal experience or anything, but
no way.
Surely
one could
not.
imagine how that would be a frustrating.
Tori streamed most of her gameplay. We can all confirm that definitely happened.
Damn it! Damn. Okay, that's fair. I gotta stop streaming, you guys.
No, please stream more. I liked being your guy in the chair that was like, try this.
Yeah, and I appreciated it very much. You were my walkthrough. You and somebody else.
Alex was around for a chunk of it, a lot of it too. But yeah, and then again, we talk about like the buildings. Like obviously the buildings aren't brown. Like they have good cement color. Like I like some of the sprites or whatever you want to call it in a 3D environment. The rendering of like electronics and comm stations and desks and things like that. So you could tell they wanted to like put more in there. But again, story. It's an abandoned base. Maybe it's not supposed to be so populated and lively, and it's just fucking exactly what needs to be made to achieve an exact purpose of being a silo. I wanna like pick on it, but it feels right. It's just tough to remember it perfectly as you play through.
Oh, very.
Yeah. So outside of this place being super difficult, you find your way towards the back, and you can find your objective point, your beautiful red square with a star in the middle. And we then officially meet Null, the perfect soldier. Now, before I go into anything, I like the cutscene a lot. I think when I wrote these notes and when I first played it, I comfortably feel like Null is sort of like the best part of this game as far as just his purpose, like we sort of talk about him like he's the Winter Soldier, which I love that. Like Winter Soldier is one of my favorite of the Marvel movies. I like the concept that he is, because this is not a spoiler, because they do pretty quickly learn during the fight within the fight that Null is Gray Fox. We learn in this, few minutes that we're fighting him in cutscenes. So we fans of the series, Gray Fox is he's probably like the most popular, not like main character or someone you talk to on the Codex a ton. Like he's badass. Like, and to learn clearly why he's good, even in the cybernetic suit, he's also been fucking programmed to be the Winter Soldier, essentially. He it's crazy. And he is who was in that, that medical bay that Elisa was talking to us about. So we have a pretty dope little cutscene, and I enjoy like their banter. So we learn that he knows who he is, pretty common thing. And we learn a little bit about just like he was, he gets awakened to complete his mission, which at the moment is fucking murder Big Boss. And then he gets, wiped and thrown back in the med bay, and he has to like sort of like chemically be induced. Before we go into the boss fight, I'll say I absolutely love that as soon as the boss fight starts, Null is already shooting at you every time.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty fucking cool.
I
thought that was a really good design.
loved that too. It was a thing I loved.
Yeah, I really did. Like, okay. At least as far as the design point, I loved it. I don't know as far as making the fight fun, but I just thought it was like so fucking cool that he's already fucking ready to go. And he's got a dope sword, which again, now that we know, when you start to process like who he is, he clearly, Gray Fox always had a sword from when we've, played all the way back to the OG games. So I like that a lot. The fight itself, I don't know, it didn't feel so bad. I didn't get to do the cool knock him out because it was a little harder, just because I didn't have the sort of means like I did in the Python fight. Like you can hide from them, but it's not small pillars. It's like long buildings and containers. So you can sort of do that, but he constantly is shooting at you, like constantly. So my like sort of loop was like, Ocelot taught me well. I wait for the reload and I'll take him out. That'll be the best I can do. And I ended up sort of following the shotgun Willy concept. I could either, stun him, knock him down, and use that as sort of my way to do it. I didn't want to cheese him, but I had to. Like it didn't click with me to like get the loop down fast enough. Because when you go to come at him, he like uses the sword to fuck you up as well, which does more damage than the gun, which is weird, but accurate. So outside of my thoughts on this, Tori, what do you have about the Null fight?
I'm not gonna lie. I relied on a little bit of walkthrough for this because I stumbled across I don't know if it was the Mosin Nagant or if it was just a regular sniper rifle, the name for which I cannot remember. But I found that in one of my first, I would say 2 or 3 attempts at this boss, and I thought, oh great, okay, so I just watch him walk around and snipe at him a little bit. The unfortunate consequence of taking that first shot is that he knows exactly where you are. So that worked for all of 2 seconds, and I had to revisit my strategy, i.e. revisit a walkthrough. And eventually I got into a pattern that can only be described as Shotgun Willie styly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris? What do you got?
Well, this one was, I thought, easier than the last one, to be honest with you. So I used like a guide to kind of help me through some of this, and I just wanted to read you the first line of this boss fight. The first sentence. If you have the M870 shotgun, you already won the battle.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he'll like shoot,
It's true.
and you just hide behind the pillar, and you pop around with the shotgun, and it knocks him down in one hit and takes a huge chunk of his health. I just rinse and repeat that. And
Yeah, I guess I never thought it, but it is. It did make it easy. It definitely made it easy.
I don't think
was
I took
glad to-
damage on this fight.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Nice. What did we think of his like design, like his look?
Oh.
Because I
What the fuck
personally
is on
fucking
his
loved
face?
it.
Say what?
Right?
What the fuck is on his face?
Yeah.
He's wearing a mask, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it reminded me first of Cyborg Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 4. And then
Sure.
a little bit, because of that, I thought, well, he looks a lot like Rykov, because that would be more appropriate in the timeline. I'm so sure he's not Rykov, but it's just his face had a similar design. He's got the blonde hair. That's just who I thought of first. But otherwise, like his suit, or his, I don't know what you call it that he's wearing really, but I thought it held up for this series. It matches the overall aesthetic, I think, for a suit you might find somebody like hold on. Are we on? No, thank God. Okay, I almost called him Python again. Wow, you guys, I'm struggling this episode. Okay. It makes sense for what a character like him would be rocking, I think.
Yeah. He's got like a pretty dope, like sort of like low key anime look to him, like a Naruto villain or something. And I like that. I think the design looks pretty dope. I love the concept. I like the splash of color. He's got like a red sleeve and like a black sleeve, which I don't understand why, but I don't know,
not?
it looks cool. And he's got like that dope. He does like that spin move. He keeps like the sword sort of close to his chest, and he can like spin to get you out. Like if you're close, it basically renders CQC like null. Jesus, terrible pun. But it like does like there's no way you have to beat him at a distance if you're going to, except with the shotgun. But I liked it. As far as that, what do you think of the look, Chris? You vibing with it?
It's okay. That little face thing looks pretty uncomfortable to me.
It's once again prophetic. He's one of the safe ones.
Right.
I love it. So we beat Null, surprisingly.
We do.
Cunningham. So we got a dope cutscene, which is pretty cool. This is when you learn that you recognize the fight style. You recognize that it's that kid from Mozambique. And again, everybody's got a history with Snake in this one. So he calls him, Gray Fox. So you kind of learn that there is still a man in there, but he's, programmed at this point. So they do that. Cunningham butts in, fucks with some shit. He's still after. Every time he has to talk about the legacy. That's like his whole thing.
It's his one legacy.
Is to do that. Yep. And what's pretty interesting, though, is that Snake gets captured here. And maybe we'll see a torture scene. I don't know. But our team scrambles like Roy is like, we've lost contact with Snake. What are we going to do? We got to figure this shit out. But unfortunately, we're not going to know if we're going to get him back just yet because our episode stops here.
Well, before we get into end of the episode proper. Can I ask, do we ever get any more details about Mozambique? Because once their little bit of backstory came up, I realized I really knew little to nothing about it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's really it. Everything does seem like just like a tiny bit, before what happens later. Like, it's just more like, it's not like crazy. Like, even if you look them up, like, hey, let's like, when we get to the character episode, the pre-San Geronimo incident stuff is literally Frank Anger spent his early years fighting as a child soldier in Mozambique.
Okay, there it is.
Like, there's really not, there's not much there, but I think that's part of the lore. I don't think they wanted to, like, why don't we make part of this game about Gray Fox? I think they just were like, let's find a character that we can attack the psyche of Snake, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but that it didn't feel like this game doesn't have to be about Frank Yeager. We didn't need like what motivates this boss too, because we're gonna get a lot from fucking Gene and Cunningham.
Well, in fact, as far as Frank Yeager, I thought it was interesting too that I think it's Gene who calls out that he's got the same code name as the former support crew member of Big Bosses. Did you guys catch that
Correct.
line? Yeah.
I did, and that actually became like a big like lore, like in the message boards. We're like, wait, what's this? Like it was interesting. Let's put it that way. I did catch it though.
Yeah, interesting, but ultimately amounts to nothing within this game. It's just a little something there to make you go, oh, I know.
Agreed.
I know who it is.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well,
totally.
So,
agree.
According to the canon, I think Tori, your answer is that he does participate in the Mozambican Civil War for the Renamo.
Okay.
And it says that later on he's rescued in Mozambique during the 80s. Yeager's sister Naomi met Big Boss, who would later take them both to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this kind of gets into that territory where some of the fans are like, this game's not canon, So maybe the details don't line up exactly.
Which is a conversation that I think we'll be having with Ryan, hopefully the next time he comes to talk with us.
Right, because he has a sister who we'll meet later.
Ryan does? Awesome.
So, no, right. Yeah, true. Frank's sister, Naomi.
Absolutely.
So we're going to, it's allegedly going to tie in. So yeah, that's certainly worth a particular question with Ryan. So I like that. So we good? What do you guys feel? You like that cliffhanger?
Solid.
Snake going to make it out of this game alive?
I think it's a solid cliffhanger.
I love it.
I think it's a naked cliffhanger.
Oh, torture. I can't wait. Can't wait for that torture scene. The obvious and expected torture scene in essentially, I think it's a Metal Gear staple, I would say. But we're not going to talk about it tonight, guys. Sorry, y'all. So you're going to hear that on the next episode of Metal Gear Monday's Revengeance Portable Ops Edition. So for everyone else, this does wrap up an episode. I would like to thank everyone who has listened, downloaded. If you have the opportunity, please rate and review. It would go a long way with the almighty algorithm. If you want to go to find some merch, we're at bit.ly/MGM store. We are at Metal Gear Mondays on everything except Twitter because of the damn character limit, so we're Metal Gear Monday. Outside of that, Patreon/Metal Gear Mondays. We, again, absolutely appreciate it. We are continuing to find ways to engage and sort of make it worth a patron's while to support us. And we want to show our gratitude as best we can. So we very much appreciate that. Outside of that, Tori, where can people find you on the internet?
You can primarily find me in the Discord. Lately, I've been making a greater effort to get in there and see what's going on and interact with everybody. Other than that, you could potentially catch me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, but I'm mostly updating our show's social feeds there, so I don't know. You could just try shouting Young Neil into the ether and see if I pick it up on my end.
All right. And what about you, Chris? The interwebs.
I'm all over the internet, but you can find me in the bio section of MetalGearMondays.com or
Oh yeah,
There it is.
in the Discord.
I love it. You can find me at Warren Minix on all of the social platforms. If that's not your thing, you like gamer tags, I'm Untaggable Gamer. I will also say thanks to anybody that watches us through YouTube. Hi, YouTube. I would say consider subscribing, only because if we sort of catch more subscribers, we may sort of do some stuff on YouTube as well. To do that, we just, in a lot of our banter and chats, we've learned that the audio feed is the preferred feed. With some things, I know that the interviews tend to do a little bit better on YouTube. But if you're on YouTube, feel free to reach out. And like I said, if anybody's listening to this, consider subscribing. And if we see a few more subscribers, it would certainly motivate us to throw on some, extra stuff on the video end when it comes to YouTube. Outside of that, though, guys, I think it's time to let her rip, Jack.